On tonight's edition of Newswatch 18, Thursday was First Amendment Day at Iowa State. We have all the highlights from the event coming up.
The VEISHEA tournaments continued this weekend. Stay tuned to find out how the ISU TV team fared.
Spring game was played this week, and stay tuned to find out how the Cyclones are shaping up for the 2012 season.
This is Newswatch 18.
Milwaukee.
Newswatch 18 starts now.
Good evening and welcome to the April 16th edition of Newswatch 18. I'm KRISSY AMAYA.
And I'm Kate HURLEY. Thanks for joining us for the last live Monday Newswatch of the semester.
The First Amendment gives us freedom we use every day. Justin Houston has more.
On Thursday, April 12th, the 10th annual First Amendment Day took place. First Amendment Day is a celebration of the First Amendment by the Greenlee School of Journalism at Iowa State. The day is about what the amendment stands for. Managing editor of online content and special sections editor of The Daily, Catherine Klingseis, talks about why she loves the First Amendment.
I think it's a crucial component of the reason why the United States is one of the best countries in the world. I think that, honestly, if we didn't have it, I can't imagine a world or imagine the United States without it.
Most of the events happened on April 12th, which started with the Freedom March in the morning. At noon, there was a feast on the 1st. At the feast, professors talked about how many people think they take their rights for granted. Student publications on campus use the First Amendment every day to do their jobs. Editor-in-chief of The Daily, Jake Lovett, tries to imagine what the world would be like without the First Amendment.
I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know how to live because we've lived with that for so long that it'd be a drastic change, and I just wouldn't even know how to function the way that we functioned. So it'd be a shock, to say the least.
For ISU TV, this is Justin Houston.
VEISHEA kicks off this week at Iowa State, and there's plenty to keep you busy on campus. Tomorrow night, the opening ceremonies and awards will start the week. Cyclone men's basketball coach Fred Hoiberg will be the speaker for this year's ceremonies. The awards will be presented by the Vice President for Student Affairs, Tom Hill. The Student Activities Center and the Division of Student Affairs will recognize students who received VEISHEA scholarships. The opening will start tomorrow at 4 in the afternoon in the sunroom of the Memorial Union. Keep posted to Newswatch throughout the week for more information on this week's events.
The VEISHEA tournament schedule shifted into full gear this weekend. On Saturday, students braved the wind to participate in Ultimate Frisbee and co-ed softball. 6 teams played in the Ultimate Frisbee tournament, which was held in a round-robin format. 8 teams took part in the softball tournament, which was single elimination. The indoor volleyball tournament and skills competition was held on Sunday on the main floor of Lead. And don't forget, the Knockout World Record attempt will be held on Tuesday in Hilton Coliseum at 7 p.m.
One of the most popular parts of VEISHEA festivities are the lunches held on Central Campus. For $5, you'll get a button that gets you lunch every day. The lunches are provided by restaurants around Ames, such as the Fighting Burrito and Valentino's. You can still purchase a button outside of the lunch tent before any of the meals this week. You can't miss the tents located right on Central Campus. Lunch runs from 11 to 2.
3 years ago, April was chosen to be Sexual Assault Awareness Month. The month raises awareness for sexual assault while promoting healthy sex. Alpha Kappa Lambda has planned a These Hands Don't Hurt event tomorrow. Participants mark their handprints and paint on a large canvas to visually sign their promise to not be violent to others. Signings of pledge cards and verbal promises are also given. The event takes Sexual Awareness Month to Iowa State to make the campus violence-free. The location is at the west lawn of the Sloss House from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. tomorrow.
Saturday, Riemann Gardens opened its new display to the public that has over 20 Lego sculptures. The sculptures were created by Sean Kenny, made with nearly 500,000 Lego pieces, built to replicate plants and animals in the garden. The display includes a bison that uses over 45,000 pieces alone. The exhibit will open from now until the end of October.
So, Aaron, I hear you have an update from the spring game.
That's right, Cyclone fans got their first glance of the 2012 Iowa State football team. I'll have all the details on that. Stay tuned. You're watching Newswatch 18. I'm Aaron Bauer with your Cyclone Sports Update. Cyclone fans got their first glimpse of the 2012 Iowa State football team Saturday. The annual spring game was held at Jack Trice Stadium. The Cardinal team came away with a 13-7 victory. However, all Big 12 linebacker A.J. Klein had the play of the day as he picked off Jared Barnett and returned it 94 yards for a touchdown. And as most fans know, the biggest question leading into this 2012 season is who's going to be taking those snaps for Iowa State. All three potential quarterbacks, Steele Jance, Jared Barnett, and Sam Richardson, all posted respectable numbers. Iowa State will open its regular season hosting Tulsa September 1st in Jack Trice Stadium. And the Cyclone golf team posted another strong showing at the Hawkeye Grand River Invitational held in Iowa City. Iowa State finished second in the tournament behind host team Iowa. However, Cyclone senior Nate McCoy was class of the field as he took top individual honors with a 3-round total of 202. And McCoy also went into the Cyclone record books for being the first Iowa State player to ever shoot a 7-under on 18 holes. Scott Fernandez also posted a top 5 finish with his 3-day total of 211. Next up for the Cyclones is a trip to the Big 12 Championships this weekend down in Houston, Texas. It was a big weekend for the Cyclone tennis team as well. It was senior day, and they set those seniors out on the right foot. Iowa State defeated Kansas 6-1. The win was the first conference win for Iowa State and the first time since 1981 Iowa State defeated Kansas. Freshman Megan Cassins had a strong match to build momentum for Iowa State, defeating Dylan Wyndham 6-3 and 6-4. Next up for the Cyclones is they close out the regular season as they travel to Baylor Friday and travel to Texas Tech on Sunday. Finally, it was a tough weekend for the Cyclone softball team as they were swept by Oklahoma State. Erica Miller moved to third, however, in the Iowa State record books, recording her 90th RBI. The loss drops Iowa State to 12-28 overall and 1-11 in conference play. And they'll return home this Wednesday to host in-state rival Iowa. First pitch for that one scheduled for 4:30 over at the Southwest Athletic Complex. That's all I've got for sports, and stay tuned after the break for your weather update. You're watching Newswatch 18.
Welcome back to Newswatch 18. I'm Christy Carter with your cyclone forecast. So we had a very busy weekend this week. As you can see, there are quite a few tornado reports from this weekend. We had 135 preliminarily. I think that number will drop down a little bit due to some of those reports are probably going to be the same tornado reported multiple times. But still, it was a very busy weekend, and a lot of the Iowa State meteorology students got some fun in chasing those storms in Kansas. So if we take a look at Sunday's reports, they were not nearly as crazy as Saturday's reports were. But otherwise, there we go. There's the new map from that one. There's a couple that were up in Nebraska and a few in Minnesota, but not nearly as many as there were on Saturday. Moving ahead, if we take a look at what we have up next, which is some pictures from that event. Here's some of Midas clouds. They were pretty fantastic. Not too many tornado pictures that I have with me today, but there are quite a few up there if you want to look for them on the website. This is a nice wall cloud we found near the Hutchinson area, and taking a look at the next picture, that's actually a funnel cloud that didn't quite form a tornado, so that was kind of depressing, but it was still a good day to be a meteorology major at Iowa State chasing in Kansas. If we move on a little bit, we can take a look at the temperatures around the state. So you can see they kind of stayed in the 80s for today. Actually, no, those would be the record temperatures. So 88 would be the record temperature here in Ames for Iowa. Taking a look at the next graphic, we should have the average temperatures, which is usually about in the 70s or so. And then if we kind of keep moving on, sorry we're dealing with some graphics issues today. If you probably want to know your VEISHEA forecast, so we'll just go ahead and tell you that. It's going to be chances of rain for both tomorrow and Wednesday. 60% chance of rain on Thursday. However, temperatures are going to be looking pretty nice, upper 50s, maybe lower 60s. And then for your Saturday and your Friday and Saturday, your VEISHEA forecast, there's a slight chance of rain both days, but it should not be nearly as cold and wet as it was last year. So that's good to know. So with that, we'll send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Christy. Every year, the Student Alumni Leadership Councils ask students to strip down for a good cause. The ISU TV news team asked some of the participants about the Nearly Naked Mile.
We're doing the Nearly Naked Mile because Iowa State rocks! And we like to donate clothes. Because I want to donate some clothing and look hot to the ladies.
I just think it's fun because it's a little too early to be doing this, but you know, it's all for the adventure or whatever. My friend made me do it. Dance marathon for the kids! Woo! Kicking it for the kids! Woo! Because we care. Yep, we all donate. We're wearing tape. This is all we have left is tape.
I love donating clothes, and it's a good cause.
Despite chilly and windy weather, hundreds of ISU students stripped down to give their clothes to charity. This year, the race started and ended at the Alumni Center. Runners picked up a t-shirt and a meal voucher after the race. This year's event took place more than 2 weeks earlier than last year's, which started on April 29th.
Well, Erin, I hear it's your last show on ISU TV since you're graduating this year.
Yeah, I guess I'm graduating. I guess everybody has to. My 4 years are up here at Iowa State. It's been a blast. Favorite memory of ISU TV would probably be just all the great people I've met and had the chance to work with over the last 4 years. Also, Rachel Bagley, want to give a shout out to her. She will also be graduating here in May. Her final show she produced for all of us. Couldn't do it without her. So it's been a good 4 years, but I guess it's time for a different aspect in our lives.
Well, thank you for all your hard work.
And that's all we have tonight for Newswatch 18. Thanks for joining us.